strictly where I'm famous. I'm in this for the longest haul, like we'll see where it takes us. I'm throwing back these double shots like whiskey here is weightless. Cause this career I chose was even riskier than Vegas, yo.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's another beautiful Thursday night, and we are in the studio, and so much to talk about tonight. Not only do I have a fantastic, amazing guest right on the other side for you. I want to just share a little bit about the trip that I just came back from in Lilydale. So I think some of you know because we've been talking about it. Lilydale is the largest spiritualist community in the United States and really is the first and foremost. It's about an hour south of Buffalo. So it's a little bit of a trek to get there. But my goodness, there is so much energy there. It truly is this vortex, as they like to say. And there is this stump. Oh, that's me having a good time. Did you show me? Look, that's me. I was there, see? This is the stump. And so this stump, what happened is it obviously really existed for like 300 years. Mediums from around the world would get up on this stump and deliver messages to audience member on the bleachers. You want to show that other picture? Mm-hmm. So it's in the deep of the forest, Leonolan Woods. And so people come and they sit in the middle of this beautiful forest and receive messages from spirit. So you can't stand on the stump anymore. Apparently it's not stable, but had this great opportunity to teach a couple workshops there and then deliver messages at this stump. And I got to tell you, I was a little greedy. Every opportunity I got up on that stump or in front of and to deliver messages. But I have to tell you, they have registered mediums, and these mediums go through so much testing. So it really is incredible. Beautiful, beautiful spirit and energy. Also want to just tell you, August 12th, Sunday, we have our spirit service. It's in Los Angeles. Amazing. We have a talk about near-death experiences by Lima, and then messages being delivered by Terry Huberman, Yu San Shin, and Jules Davis. So it is going to be a fantastic morning. You have to RSVP, though, just to kind of try to get a seat because it's been really filling up. But come and hang out with us if you are in or near the Los Angeles area. I can't wait to feel so inspired to give a service after being at like 12 services in a few days. So it's very, very exciting. Now, back to tonight, because this is really what I am so excited about. We are going to take a couple callers. The number is 323-992-3115. Here's the thing. We're going to talk about medical. We are going to talk about healing. So if you have a question, only in those two areas is really where we want to focus if you get through, okay? And remember, you have to be a good guest. So no ringing, dinging, blinging, barking husbands, or shouting dogs. I love making fun of the husbands. No, we just want to have the best experience, especially since our guest is all the way on the East Coast at the moment. But let me tell you a little bit about our guest this evening. He is originally from New Zealand, but he lives in Australia now. And he's had a little bit of a mix of careers and experiences, which I'm so excited to hear about, just because a lot of us who do this work have had these other kind of lifetimes before we really realize, hey, wait a second, there is this calling and I need to answer it. But what's incredible about him, he is a psychic medium, but he is also a healer and a medical intuitive. And that to me is just like, wow, like, so I'm so fascinated to learn, as I'm sure you guys are going to be so excited to hear, how does he get this? How does it work? How does he do it? Is it a magic wand? Is it this energy? I cannot wait. But he is so remarkably renowned for his work. And we just happened to catch him on his U.S. tour. So I would love to welcome Simon Hay to the show. Hi, Simon.
Yeah, hi. How are you?
I am well. How are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm good. Have a good day. It's great.
Thank you so much for, joining us and being on the show. And I'm sure you're getting a little tired, a little jet lag, but I'm so happy that you had a little bit of time to kind of hang out with our listeners tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's just a wonderful opportunity. I'm looking forward to it.
So now you are here in the U.S. on a tour. You're on the East Coast, and we'll talk about it, but you're in Pennsylvania, you're in New York, gone to Missouri. You are working, but you are going to be working in the United States for the next couple weeks. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. About 4.5 weeks I'm here. So we've got private sessions, a lot of events, and a few workshops too.
Wow. Okay, so as you know, as I know, you're a psychic medium, and we all know that, connecting to people's souls, connecting to loved ones in spirit. But you are also a healer and a medical intuitive. Can you share with us a little bit about what is a healer? What is a medical intuitive?
Well, for me, the healing side is I'm very successful with a lot of physical conditions, illnesses and injuries, so pain management. I'm probably about 60% successful. There's obviously a lot of emotional work that gets done there as well, and psychology in that. And thankfully, my partnership with Spirit, I have a lot of psychologists that works with me. Doctors and healers that I see as well. So, we work together in partnership. The medical intuitive side is, I have no medical training, but I'm able to generalize positions in the body. So I might see a specific organ, I might see, a tumor or a growth or, some inflammation in the body. Often I see it magnified, so I'm not as sure exactly where I am. But it assists in my work for location and intention, and I've also been able to advise quite a few people to go and seek medical help, doctors and surgeons and specialists. So yeah, it's pretty interesting.
No, it's fascinating. And when did you discover you had this gift? Did it just kind of come to you at once, or was it over time?
I had an experience in 2000, 2001 with Spirit, where it was after I did a psychic development meditation for the first time. During that meditation, as soon as I sat down, I became very agitated and lost control of my body, essentially. When I closed my eyes, I opened my eyes, and I had an out-of-body experience and met a Buddhist monk in Spirit, who's a spirit guide. And then over the next few months, I continued to meditate, and it was just blockbuster movies for me. It was just so clear. And then it just went from there. Probably, 8-10 months after that I did my first healing. So it was a successful very quickly.
Wow. Do you still talk to that monk today?
Yeah, he's here. He's always with me. He kind of have him on my right shoulder all the time, is where I physically place him. But yeah, his name is Geju, and he keeps things very simple. He helps me with my life, obviously. It's funny, people expect big answers from him, but it's always little answers about, why you're asking that question or why you're unsettled. He's very philosophical and a little bit frustrating at times. But a lot frustrating at times, I can tell you. But, because he says I don't listen. So, and, through him, I'm lucky enough to have surgeons and, psychologists and, ancient healers and people of faith. I had a really big experience early on with, Jesus and his family. Not that I, have a Christian background. I was, baptized in the Anglican Church. But I had a really big experience with Jesus and his family, and kind of remembered a past life experience that I had. I've actually written about that, and it was that story and that connection, and those months of being a trance medium that really opened up the healing stuff for me.
So when you are healing, do you channel that energy? Do you channel the healing? Is that kind of how it works for you?
Yeah, look, I understand why people would use the term channel. Because it kind of essentially feels like it might flow through you. My team and spirit make it about the human experience. I'm always grateful for their assistance, but they're grateful for my assistance as well. So they don't want to minimize, the human experience. They want to kind of encourage us to believe that we're powerful.
Yes.
That this isn't, a divine gift or, a higher power. I respect why people will, have that view, but that's never been, said to me by the people in spirit. I mean, it's definitely a partnership, but they never, separate that. They never make themselves greater than me. It's a relationship of mutual respect. I respect them and listen to them, and they respect me, and they're grateful that I listen. So yeah, I mean, I understand why people say it's channeling, but for me, it's you're in partnership, so you actually become kind of that healing experience, and it's intention really. It's my intention is to, heal somebody, take away pain, and I've just focused that. And Gedju's trained me in such a fashion, I guess, that in those moments my mind is, in control, or my mind is relaxed, or I actually get out of the road. So there's no control there. It's just a moment of healing that occurs.
So when, and I'm sorry for all the questions. I hope you don't mind, but I am so fascinated, and I know that the listeners are like, well, we hate to say they're dying to know, but we got to have a little medium humor. So when you see someone, or they come to you, and they either have a mass or something, or some other health issue, whatever the case may be, and you are connecting and using the partnership, how is it? Do you find that, is it just sending the light? I'm just kind of curious as to, like, how does that healing happen?
Well, I think, in the early days, I still have very clear vision now, but in the early days, it was very intense. Like, so if I had someone in front of me, the body would separate. So I'd see their physical body, and then I'd see energy bodies, but layers of energy bodies kind of separating. And I would have access, and I could see like their skeleton and, their nervous system, and then lymphatic system, and then, kind of fluid and pathways and tubes in their body, which I think, has energy or intelligence in them. It's not just fluid. And so that all came kind of naturally. It was like, it wasn't even forced. It just was part of my development and my communication with spirit. And then I recognized that there was pain there, and then I would just think, okay, I want the pain to disappear, relax the pain. And then everything was magnified. I mean, I always say, this gift would be great if a surgeon had this or a doctor had this, because they would understand what they're looking at. I have no idea what I'm looking at. So I'm very honest about that. And I also think I should say that, I'm very honest about when I'm unsuccessful as well. I talk about when I'm unsuccessful a lot, because I think there's a lot of education in those moments. And I want to be really authentic to my clients. I don't want to mislead anybody.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. And look, the first initial times I was successful surprised me, because I really big experiences. One of the earliest ones was muscle that was torn off the shoulder. And, I used to be a plumber, and the gentleman who drove the excavator, his wife had injured her shoulder, and they had MRI scans, and it showed muscle being torn off, and even a piece of bone floating around. And she was in Australia, there's a public waiting list for surgery. So I was on this waiting list to go to have the surgery. And I just went around and had a cup of coffee after work and just sat with her, placed my hand just above her shoulder. And, she said, "Oh, that's hurting. Like, that's almost unbearable." Look, honestly, I had no idea what I was doing, other than the fact that
you're like, hey,
you're just telling me you can do it. Like, you can fix your shoulder. And I went, "Oh, okay, well, I don't know what I'm doing." So she's telling me it's hurting. Like, I'm essentially lying to her and saying, no, it's okay. I know what I'm doing. It's kind of funny, but the next day she was pain free, and we asked her, I said, just relax, like take it easy, but she was very particular. So she spring cleaned the house and mopped the floors because she wasn't able to do that for a few weeks.
Wow.
So her shoulder was sore again. So I did it again about 5 days later. And then she went and played a game of tennis because, she was pain free. Anyway, she was a little bit ached. She didn't go off the waiting list. About a week later, she went to surgery, and then Frank rang me and said, look, they've taken her and they've done the surgery. They've just cut her open and stitched her back up because there's nothing to fix. It's all fine.
Wow.
So at first I thought he was just messing around with me, because, a couple of blokes working and that. And I just thought he was messing around with me because that's his personality. But, he was serious. He said, look, I'm just letting you know, this is what's happened. She's had the surgery. They've cut her open to repair it. Nothing to fix. They've just stitched her back up again.
Wow.
So that was pretty huge, and look, I guess I still have those moments now. I would like, to say to people that happens every time. Just a few weeks ago, I fixed a bodybuilder's right shoulder. Now, I didn't even know if I fixed it. He came for a session, and then he's contacted me months later and said, I came to see you with the right shoulder. You fixed that. He says, now I've messed up the left shoulder, so I'm coming back for that. So obviously he's had some really positive response where he hasn't had to have further surgery. But, there's no testimonial. There's no, it's only the story that I share. But look, I am unsuccessful too. I don't want to harp on about that, but it's just something that comes up. People challenge me all the time, and I think it's really, I have an obligation to be honest. I don't want to mislead anybody when they invest their time in me. They find me, they come to me, and this is my career. This is how I pay my mortgage and feed my kids and that. So, so they're making an investment. I don't want to mislead anybody.
Right.
So, that's why I revert to that statement quite often.
Yeah. And, sometimes too, the healing, if someone is holding on to something and not allowing for the healing on some level, that we can only do so much, like you mentioned, partnership, right? So I think
I think the thing for me is, like, spirit always says to me that I can heal everything, and I go, okay, and my response to that, even now after 10 years of doing this full time, my response to that is saying, are you sure? Like, really? Okay, well, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to give it a shot,
Yeah.
And then when you're not unsuccessful, I go back to them and say, well, come on, guys, this is what I heard. But what they would say to me, and when I pushed them on that, they would say, you assume you're in control of the outcome. All right? And I think that's a fair statement. I'm in control of my intention. I'm in control of being present and being, authentic and being kind, and my behavior. Those are the things I'm in control of. And I would say, well, who's in control of the outcome? And to be quite honest, I can't really get a specific answer. But I don't think the answer is, like the universal God or something else. I truly believe that there's forces at play here, like human forces, like, generations of human behavior, and the belief too that this has to be, a certain way, like the belief that this is channeling, or the belief that this is a gift, or the belief that this is, God. These things place limitations on outcome and process. And I think this can be quick. Charlie, I'm going to mention Charlie Goldsmith. I really love him, and if people research him, they'll see how authentic and real he is. He is very quick.
Yeah.
So when I started doing healings, I was that quick as well. But what happened was, I wanted this to be my career, and I wasn't getting enough clients to make it, viable. So I started doing readings. I chose to do the readings with my clients on a massage table rather than seated opposite them, unless they wanted it that way. And then I had access to the body. So they thought they were coming for a reading, and I start doing a reading, and then I go, oh, you've got a sore knee. Oh, you broke a collarbone like when you were 12. And they say, yeah, I did. And there's a little pain in there. And so then we got these little victories. They came for a reading, but then they kind of experienced like this pain reduction or something that occurred. So I became very good at kind of, like seeing things. Or I might say, oh, there's there's someone in the family, a male in the family, where there's a prostate problem. And they say, oh, that's my dad. And then my grandfather died of that. And I went, oh, you know what? I might say, oh, and who's John? That's my husband. I'll say, well, maybe he needs to go and get his prostate checked.
Right.
And, he might be at that age. He might be in his 50s, and it might be in his family too. And, of course, that's kind of, the generalized way it grew. Even now, probably 80% of my work is readings. I would like to do all healings, but might be a bit more exhausting for me. But a lot of people still come to me because I'm a medium,
right?
And then we kind of, and I've learned to blend the session. So I've taken something quick and made it into, I've made it into an hour session. Because like if someone's going to come to see me and I just shake their hand and say you're done, that they have no concept of being done. You can't fix me by shaking my hand.
Right.
I got to talk to you. I have to engage with you. And of course, the psychology around that, if I have a psychologist in spirit, his name is Nathan. He's a really sharp looking guy too. He looks a little bit like Daniel Craig, the actor. And he does dress a little bit like James Bond as well, but without the jacket and the tie. He's got really sharp, like pressed pants and a shirt and that. And I used to listen to myself talk to clients, and I wonder where this stuff was coming from, but it was coming from him. And we would unravel kind of the trauma in their life and, how that's affected their decision making and why they repeat the patterns that they do. So it's just, that side of it's really interesting as well. That psychology, it's that's a huge component, which I think is an aspect of success as well. I think sometimes you got to employ that psychology, the body language, the physical interaction, and then sometimes it's not necessary. You do a distant healing, you don't even meet, you might have a photo or you're on FaceTime, you get a great result. It's look, it's all a mystery, but I'm having fun.
It is a mystery, but it really is fun to be of service, right?
Yeah.
So
it's a wild ride. It hasn't been easy. It's there's a lot of stuff you got to overcome. There's a lot of kind of judgment and but even in our industry, there's a lot of judgment that you get from,
within
other
the industry. Yes, even within it, absolutely. Well, we've got a ton of callers in line. So how about we just try to take a caller or two just to see what question they may have, if that's okay. Caller, if you get through, take a moment right now and just ask yourself, what area code did I call in from? So know that. And if you get through, please, we definitely need the phone to be silent so that your voice is as clear and crisp as possible. And just make your question around medical, intuitive, anything with the body, or anything more in that direction. Just because that's what I told Simon we would be doing. So how about, let's start with number 6, area code 214. Okay, 214, you are on the air with Colby and Simon. Who is this?
Hi, my name is Leo.
Hi, Leo?
Yeah, it sounds like Gail. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure.
I've actually been ill for 20 years. I was first diagnosed with MS. I had some lesions on the left side of my brain, and they miraculously went away. And I was well for a while, and I've had, periods of remitting and getting better and getting worse and kind of ups and downs. And right now, they're thinking maybe diabetes insipidus. They've thought, pituitary things. I mean, I've been on a really long journey of not knowing what's going on, lots of digestive things.
So maybe a little bit of insight. Okay, so how about a little bit of insight? Is that what you're hoping for tonight with Simon?
Yes. I've gotten tired of getting excited about a diagnosis. So any insight would be amazing.
Okay. So Simon, this is Leo. Anything?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was interesting once you mentioned the pituitary. I don't know if you did mention the pituitary gland or not, but like there's definitely a hormonal component to this. There's definitely an endocrine system component to this. And I'm not, I tell you what, I'm not a doctor, but that's what I've gone to straight away. And I also know there's a pituitary. I'm certain that there's an adrenal gland and pituitary gland connection. or function that works, in compliance with each other. And I reckon there's some breakdown there as well, but I don't know what's causing it. I did have an unusual taste in my mouth, like toxicity, like a metallic taste, like chemicals or something like that. So I don't know if there's heavy metals involved, but I normally trust my line of thought or reasoning or the way it runs there. I can feel the fatigue. You said MS to me, and look, I'm not a doctor. Like I really reinforce that. But I've worked with people with MS before, and it actually didn't feel like MS. When you said it to me, it didn't feel like MS. And I thought, okay, what's driving that?
Mm-hmm. That was taken away. That diagnosis did go away.
The diagnosis was taken away. Yeah.
Yes.
So
years ago. They give them to me and they take them away. So
yeah. Look, I don't know if I can be specific in that, but there's also, I'm not sure if there's been some trauma in your life, or if it's not you, we'd have to go to mum and look at that generational trauma. But there is some aspect.
Definitely trauma.
Oh, see.
Yeah, there is some of that emotionally that's coming up, which has really got you in that kind of flight response, and that's really messing up.
I have PTSD.
Oh.
Yeah. And of course, that would bring in dopamine as well. Now, look, I have no, I know there's a part of the brain, I can never say it properly, like amygdala or some crazy word, but no, it's the brain that responds to producing dopamine. That's another fact, kind of like I'm talking to. I don't know, what a doctor would do or what a professional would do, but if you come to see me, or I would just do a healing session on you and then see what the outcome would be. So it would either be a partial improvement where you kind of feel different, and the other kind of response you may have is that you may have like a healing crisis experience where you feel like 10 times worse and agitated. But that response is still a good response, because it says I've reached you and affected you in some way. It says I've created something to happen, but your body's in resistance to me. And I do think there's an intelligence there that comes into that. Your subconscious mind says you can't help me. That's like, if I tap into you telepathically, your subconscious mind says you can't help me. Now, my response to that is I care. Your subconscious response is do you?
Yeah.
Like, you challenge me. Do you really care? I feel like I'm going to swear too, but I'm not going to. But that's
no.
but that's what's in. But that's what's in. Your response is to swear at me. Your response is to say, "Do you like?" and then get really aggressive with me. So that's probably limiting kind of outcome and diagnosis too for even for traditional health stuff. If you approach them in that way, those guys care. We got to support science, and we shouldn't, in this alternative health field, we shouldn't be competing against that or pushing against that. Those guys are professionals, and they really do care. So I know they're trying their best for you, but look, I don't know if that's helpful or not, but that's what I'm getting.
So, Leo, I hope that does help a little bit. We've got so many callers, so I'd love to just spend a lot more time just helping you get to the bottom of this, but I know it must be really frustrating, but maybe just try working on those underlayers, at least of the emotions, and like Simon was saying, that fight or flight. But we're sending you so much love and healing, because I know how exhausting that can be. Thank you
so much for taking my call.
Yes, and have a good night.
Good luck with that.
I'm so grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's try to get another one or two in, Simon, if that's okay. So our connection is a little bad. I think everybody on Facebook we're back up, but the internet connection is not the strongest for some reason. So just bear with us, everybody, but don't you even worry, because the whole video, we'll post it in its entirety right after the show anyway, so it's not a big deal. Real quick, Simon, before we take another caller, I want to let people know that you are literally this weekend, you're going to be in Pennsylvania, Oxford, PA, right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay,
yes.
So that is Saturday and Sunday, and you're doing an evening with Spirit. So you'll actually be doing Spirit messages that evening. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. There's two events there, yes. It's a really intimate setting as well. It's a small audience, and yeah, I mean, this is what we're doing too. So it's a good evening.
Oh, so where is Oxford, PA? What's the next largest city right around it?
South of Sorry, what is it?
South of Philadelphia.
Oh, it's south of Philly?
Yeah, south of Philly.
Oh, I'm right outside of Philly in Jersey. That's where I'm from.
Okay.
So this is really great. So if anybody is interested, you're going to be at the Salt Hut, and that's Saturday, Sunday. You're going to have an evening with Spirit. This is really exciting. So know that. And you're also going to be in New York on Saturday, August 18th. So you're going to be at the Big Apple.
Yeah, that's my first event there too, actually.
Oh, wow.
New York Open Center. So I'm kind of curious, how that's going to go. But I'm really, I'm excited about it. Even though these events where I'm a medium, I'm giving messages from Spirit, I tend to be very personal, and health stuff will come up in my readings as well. And as far as I can recall, there's been only one event that I've done where somebody in the audience hasn't had a health response. So very commonly after events, like the next day, I'll get messages from people who attended saying, I attended your event, I had pain, I no longer have pain.
Wow.
I had this, I no longer have that. So it's a very common experience for audience members. I don't even have to be focused on them. It almost happens automatically. So.
Oh, that's and then you're going to be in St. Louis, right? And that's August 24th. So you've got these events. So you guys, he's on the East Coast in enough places. If you're around one of those areas, definitely go and witness the beautiful messages and the healing that also takes place. So also,
hopefully I'll make you laugh as well.
What'd you say?
Hopefully I'll make you laugh as well.
There you go.
I tend to get a little bit crazy. So.
Oh, fun. All right. Well, how about we do another caller? How about number 9517? Number 9. Alrighty, 517. Hey, who is this?
Hi, this is Rachel. How are you?
I'm well, Rachel. You are on with me and Simon. What can we do for you this evening, honey?
Yay! Well, I have a question about my own healing and medical intuitive development.
Oh, good.
Because, I have taken a beginner psychic development course, and my strongest areas seem to be medical intuition, and I have a family history of healing, and so I may have some strengths in those areas, but I thought, okay, even if I do, I think I should take Reiki. That'll make me, credible to more people. And every time I ask my intuition says no Reiki. So
Simon,
I guess maybe some tips, and if you pick up on if I do have this ability, that would be great.
Okay, Simon. So, what would your recommendation or maybe best advice be for Rachel?
Well, I would trust your intuition. If you feel that strongly about that, I'd trust your intuition. I'm spirit trained. So, one of the things I had to do was just back myself. I had to just really be courageous and have faith. And I think you need to keep this really simple too. If you want to do healings, you can, family members or friends, if they have a headache or, a sore knee or, some injury, you could just place your hand on them or just sit close to them and just direct thought at them, just like your intention is to heal them. Just direct thought at them and say, okay, well, I can take that pain away. And then just relax, and then, see what happens. The most common response is that you will probably, feel heat or a glow, or you will expand. So usually your hands would do that first, like there would be an expansion or a tingling. Don't overthink it, and trust yourself where you want to place your hand on somebody. But I think you just really got to back yourself. And the other thing too is that you should be meditating with the intention to connect with spirit, and because you want to be a healer or, be an intuitive, then your direction should be that I want to connect with, healers and teachers in spirit. And of course, you have to trust yourself and not get too lost in that as well, and just have faith. I think there's a lot of avenues for healers, but I'm always trying to be really kind of, respectful and impartial, but I have a lot of people that come to me that have done, courses, and, their hands aren't active and they just feel lost. They just kind of feel lost in it. And I think you've got to keep this really simple. You're enough. If you could believe that, like if you believe that you're just enough, that, you don't have to do anything, that, you can learn something just by listening to this, podcast, or just having a chat, like that's enough. And then you just do the healings, because a lot of people want to be a healer but don't actually do any healings. You just got to heal at every opportunity.
Yeah, and maybe, Rachel, one of the things I love what Simon says is to meditate and connect to spirit and set the intention. What is your intention? Also, don't go into healing just because it's in the family tree or just because people have told you. You got to feel it in your soul. Like you got to, because it is rough. When you become of service, there's a lot of challenges, as Simon was saying. And so you have to be so passionate about this from your soul. Your soul needs to want to do this. And that's really where the flame begins.
I really like what you just said there, Colby. I agree with that 100%. I look at my journey, and, initially it happened so quickly that I didn't have time to think about it. And I might have, had said that it didn't take a toll on me, but this does take a toll on you. You're in, daily I'm connected to, someone's psyche. I'm in their consciousness and their energy field. And I'm getting glimpses of trauma. And it's heartbreaking. Because a lot of, aside from a physical injury, like a sports injury or an accident, a lot of trauma is driven, by violence or some sort of abuse. And it does impact on you in a big way. And I always want people to feel safe. But, I would just, take Colby's advice there, like really be reflective and go, okay, what is it that I truly want to do? But, I don't want to put you off. If this is what you really want to do, I want to encourage you and, seek out, there's plenty of wonderful healers everywhere. A lot of them are quiet and shy and they don't have a platform. There's good people doing good work. You just got to find people, I think, with integrity and authentic and I guess provable results as well,
Yeah.
And I do want to encourage you, but yeah, it's a tough gig.
But just, although I have a lot of good friends, Rachel, that do Reiki, a huge fan of anyone who does it. But if your intuitive hit is saying, hey, not for me, I want you to listen to it. I mean, it's no different, doing psychic readings and how many people pull out a deck of tarot or angel cards. And I never use them. I was always like, nope. And I don't know if Simon does or not. But you don't need the necessary kind of physical tools if you believe, like he's saying, in the power of yourself, the power of your soul, the power of your higher self, and that connection to spirit.
Yeah, you just need to believe. You just need to believe in yourself. Like you have to back yourself 100%.
Yes.
No matter what the odds are, too. And the other thing too is a lot of people will say, well, I can't be a healer until I heal myself. That's a belief system. We believe that, so that's inaccurate. I was chronically ill for 3 years, and I was still able to do healings. And in the end, I was the only one that could heal myself. I actually healed myself as if I was, a client had come to see me. It took me 3 years. I don't know why I didn't do it earlier. But anyway, you really just got to back yourself and believe in yourself, and you're enough. Like
yes, and
you don't have to. I don't know. You don't have to do a course. Like you don't have to fit someone's box. You don't have to. I don't know. You just got to be, have integrity.
Or find someone you're really drawn to. If there's someone you look at who does this work and you're such a, really respect it or really kind of want to be a part of it, look at what they're doing. Are they teaching, or are they holding anything? Did they write a book, read about it? Are they doing videos to teach? So follow it and listen. And you have this gorgeous, gorgeous energy about you. You have this lovely energy. So I know you're going to be doing it in some way, shape, or form, honey. So I know,
Well,
I know you are.
I'm studying with Echo Bodine right now, and I get really good, like intuitive, learn healing from Echo. So I guess I'll keep doing that.
You are on the right path, and I want you to just keep listening to what you are getting, and lots of love and blessings to you. Okay, honey?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. So I love that, Simon. Yeah, go. I do like if there's training that is something that we resonate with. But at the same time, if we don't want to check boxes just to check boxes. Right?
I love hearing other people's story. My experience is that I didn't do a course. My experience was that I had this amazing experience with spirit. But then I did the hard work. I've done thousands of hours of meditation, like literally thousands. And now I've done thousands of hours of talking and communicating to people and kind of really backing myself. So that's my way in. But I love people's stories. Like I love hearing other people talk about healing and how they do it.
Yes.
But I've just seen so many people that have gone to do, courses, and maybe out of excitement or, insecurity or just being unsure, they choose a course and it might not be the course's fault, but it kind of just empowers them, or they feel unsettled. They don't.
Or sometimes they get so into their head, they start thinking too much without just trusting. So we're almost out of time. Let's try just one more caller. We'll have to be kind of quick, a minute or two, just to give you a time frame. But I think we can squeeze one more in. Sound good?
That's great.
Okay. How about number 10, 856. It's 856. Is that 875? Woo! Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Your sound quality is really poor. So, are you on speaker?
No, I'm not. Hello.
Hi. The sound quality is really bad. Do you have a quick question, and then we'll mute you?
Yes, I just had a quick question. I just get a little concerned. I'm the oldest of 4 siblings, and the other 3 had passed all before the age of 40. I'm just wondering if there's anything I need to look out for myself.
Okay. All right. Can you mute that? Okay. So we're just going to mute you, honey, only for the sound quality. Simon, yeah, well, there you go. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one, but immediately I felt relaxed, and
okay,
even though it feels like such a tragedy, and obviously it is, there's a generational, it's not just a genetic thing, or it is obviously some sort of generational pattern here that has occurred. It's probably occurred in the family before. I feel that she has nothing to worry about. I think worry is the problem. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think she just needs to relax, and and the grief would be obviously overwhelming as well. Like knowing that, and we probably need to work it through that more than anything.
Right.
But be sensible, eat healthy, be well. I feel there's nothing to worry about there, except the worry. Don't get lost in the worry.
Right. And that's the hard part. Yeah. Sometimes because we also don't want to use that energy to manifest something if we're constantly giving it power.
Right. We can create these things to happen, but like when she was talking and asked the question, I actually started smiling. I wasn't.
Yeah, I felt pretty good too. I don't predict passing, but at the same time, I was like, she feels pretty good to me.
I don't predict passings either. But that was my response. No, she's just, it's okay. I just want to reassure her and give her a big hug and say, hey, it's cool.
Yeah, you can tell she's got a lot of energy, little sassy pants.
Good to go.
All right, so can you put her back on real quick and I'll just say goodbye to her. Okay, so there you go. We called you Sassy Pants and we said that
And that is perfect.
we feel like you're going to be fine. We both felt really good energy and just, like Simon was saying, if you had a chance to hear him, let go of that fear and that worry that you are holding on around this. Okay, honey?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Have a beautiful night.
You have a blessed night. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah, so I love that, though. I mean, and that is, can you imagine, though, 3 of your siblings, and that is a lot on someone's conscious, certainly.
Oh, it would be huge. It would just be, like just a shock of it, but it's huge. And, and generational trauma and these patterns are a big part of my work. I identify it very, very quickly where we're following the patterns of our parents, almost to the day and the month. And I see daily examples of that.
Yeah.
And it's just these forces that are at play. It's just, it's from once we're in the womb, like once we're interactive in the womb and, mum's depressed and anxious and there's stuff going on and we just replay that out or re-attract that back into our lives. There's a lot of this stuff. This is why there's generations of like, I guess, trauma and abuse that reoccur. Like it keeps on replaying because, we re-experience it and then when we think we're out of it, we actually attract it back in.
Yeah.
This is the way it works. We're vibrating out. We're sending that signal out to the universe.
Yes. Well, this is the end of our time. I want to thank you so much. I want to thank you so much and really appreciate you coming on the show tonight. And for anyone looking to find you, it's easy, simonhay.com, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, it's real easy.
Thank you. This is just a wonderful, privilege and opportunity for me. I'm just so grateful that you, offered to do this.
Oh, I'm so excited. And, have a wonderful time on your tour. Enjoy the events. I hope you get lots of love and support. And we'll share this and feel free to share it. And then you guys who are watching, make sure you like Simon's page, follow. And if you're in the area, head out to one of these events. And it's such a pleasure meeting you, and I want you to have a beautiful evening, and thank you so, so much.
Thank you. Lots of love.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Sometimes I feel like a star, but only strictly where I'm famous. I'm in this for the longest haul, like we'll see where it takes us. I'm throwing back these double shots like whiskey here is weightless. Cause this career I chose was even riskier than Vegas, yo.